We continue our catechism with the commandment of the Church to contribute to the support of the Church. This is, of course, something necessary. The Church is not a business. It means it doesn't generate money, and still it has to face a number of costs. And who can do that? How is it possible? It's, of course, a contribution of the members. Each of us is obliged to bear his fair share of the financial burden of the Holy See, of the diocese, and of the parish. This is just logical because we belong to this association, we belong to the Church, and we have to belong to the Church, and we have to participate and to help. St. Paul says, "What soldier ever serves at his own expense? Who plants a vineyard and does not eat of its..." Let me find another microphone. Who plants a vineyard and does not eat of its fruit? Who feeds the flock and does not eat of the milk of the flock? But it is normal for the faithful to support the Church. We are bound to support our pastors because justice commands it and God ordained it. Our pastors are those priests in whose districts or parishes we live. Actually, even the government does exactly the same. The government needs the support of the citizen. This is why we have actually a need for taxes, for support. It can be too much, but there is a need for. And because no society can live without the support of its members. And it is fair that the people who are enjoying the support of a company, of a society, of an association, of a group, is also contributing to the life of this group. We are also obliged to help support our bishop as well as the Pope and to meet all church needs according to our ability. If we do not support the Church, we will be unfaithful to Christ's command, that is to go and make disciples of all nations. To teach, the Church has need of funds. The Church in the world, in many countries, it is just an investment even of the Holy See, who is sending a lot of money to support the local churches to build a church, to establish schools and hospitals. It is the investment of other countries who give money for that, other Catholics. And there is no work of the church, of course, without this support. There is also some donations that are done, like mass stipend, that are given to support the priest. And actually, the priests have no other salary or no other money given by anyone else than the mass stipend. Of course, when we give some money for a mass, we are not buying the mass, because the mass is priceless. We are just giving an offering for this occasion. Look, for what purpose does the church need help? Maintenance of public worship, education, charity, instruction of the young, relief of the poor, upkeep of the churches, seminaries, schools, colleges, asylums, hospitals, cemeteries, orphanages, etc. Some Catholics think that the little given the parish priest once in a while as mass stipend is enough to support the need of the church. No, it's not really the case. It's important for every parish, every community, to reach a point where it can sustain itself. It is not good to depend on another community. We should actually, every church should be able to run itself. Just an example for here in Kenya, we rely, of course, a lot on the donation of our faithful, but it's not enough. Every month, every 2 months, the general house we have in Switzerland has to send money to run the parish, to continue the work, to continue the construction, to continue to develop and to grow. And without this money, we could not develop. Yeah. But it will be very, very good to be able to tell our superiors that now we don't need this money, because our faithful are supporting enough, and now we don't need this foreign help. In what ways may we contribute to the support of the church? You have different ways. Some people, they say, oh, I don't have a lot of money. Fine. There are so many ways people can help the church. The first way is when maybe the church is helping you personally, maybe for the baptism of a child, for the blessing of the house, for a marriage, ceremony of marriage. That is an opportunity to give a small donation to thank the church for the service given. In many churches, in many dioceses, there is a rate given. For the baptism, you should pay this amount of money to the church. For marriage, you should pay this amount of money as a contribution. And it is fair, it is normal to ask this contribution. For us here in Holy Cross, we don't ask a specific amount, But, of course, we encourage people to give something. When they receive a sacrament, it's good to support the work of the church. And many people, they do it willingly. That's for the fuel. You have come to the hospital, take that for the fuel. That's a way to actually support the priory. And all these donations are going for the priory to support actually the expenses. Of course, the way is to give some offering on the collection plate every Sunday. It's also just a way to even just to support regularly. It can just be the collection every Sunday, but it's also what we call the tithes. And tithes is something that is really known here in Kenya, and that is understood by many people, that there is a need actually to even give a part of your salary every month to support the church. And many people, they do it very regularly. Some people, they really give 10% of their salary every month for the support of the church. And just as a donation. And it is only just and fair, actually. And that is even coming from the Old Testament, where God was asking the Jews, every time they were harvesting something, to always give 10% to God. And this is an act of faith, and it is also a way to be blessed by God, because we have given its part to God, and God will bless you for the rest. Okay. Of course, these tithes or these donations are important for the church, and we need it actually, but they're also important for you, because it's really a way for you to get blessed by God. Because somehow giving alms has always been understood as giving to God himself, okay? And some people, they can put aside money every month to invest in a bank account, but actually the best investment we can do in this world, even in the gospel, Jesus says that, make friends in heaven with the dirty money of earth, you know. It's a way to also bank on God. Yes, you give to God, every month you give to God, but it's also a way that God will keep that for you. And sometimes, you know, we are not always very good persons. Sometimes we have our own sins, we have our own weaknesses, we are not very good. But because of this act of charity, because of these donations, because of these alms we have given, we hope that this alms will pray for us. At least we have done something good, we have given something, we have had this charity, we have put God first in our life, we have saved this for God, and God will remember that. And it's not only good for the church, but it's also good spiritually for you to do this effort to give a part to God. and God will give you 100-fold. This is what he said in the gospel, that when you leave your things for God, he will reward you. You leave your country, you leave your family, you follow Jesus, you leave your goods, or you give them out. God will bless you for that. Okay, it's important to keep this good habit to give tithes. It's important for the church, it's important for your own spiritual life. And of course, tithes is proportional to what you earn and or to what are your means. Remember in the gospel, Jesus was looking at these people who were going to put some money in the collection box, and he saw a very old woman who put maybe 1 shilling. And he said, this woman has given more than all these big people with the big cars who have given maybe a lot of money. Because this woman was really in need of this 1 shilling. And she knows exactly how many coins of 1 shilling she has in her pocket, because all of them are important. But she has given one. And Jesus says this woman has given more than many other people. Because it is proportional, of course. Okay, let us have this generosity for God, and he will bless us always for this generosity. And it's good to keep a sense of proportion. Some people can pay a lot of money for a party, for a wedding, for a marriage. They can maybe spend 3-4 million in a marriage for a party, for food. But maybe they could also give something for the church, and something even good. Why not? No, when you spend 4 million for a marriage, maybe you can also give a good donation for the church. It's just an example, but let us also put God first in our life and give him a good part of our life, and not just the last small thing that can remain. Another way to contribute is when we have a special reason to contribute, like when we build a church, as we do, or we build a school, or you need to do some repairs. And actually, we are always in need of help, actually. You can see the resistance has broken, and now since 2-3 months it is not there because we look for a solution. Actually, we have found a solution, but we still have to pay for the solution now. And you can see this is now the duty of the faithful to support and to say, Father, I have seen there is some work to be done. I can contribute. And it is important. It is important that the faithful feel responsible for their own church. Because it is always very bad when everything is given from abroad. Because now the faithful become passive and they just they don't feel really involved. But it's normal to feel involved and to see that something there is maybe a need, and maybe I could help and contribute for this need. Or the maintenance of the building, the reparation, what we have to do. Usually there is always one day, we don't do it here, but maybe we should, but the Mission Sunday in October, where in all the parishes of the world we make a special collection for sending to the missions. Okay, we don't do it in the countries of mission. This is why we don't do it here. But we could actually. We could have a collection and send it somewhere else, just to help another church to grow and develop another church. And that is an opportunity where actually Catholic can give and support the work of the church in a mission country. And actually, we have received so much money here in Kenya from Germany, from Switzerland, from Belgium, from UK. At the moment of this Mission Sunday collection, where they have decided to offer that for our country here in Kenya. Also, when we have a special mission or we have a retreat, it's also a moment where you can say, okay, I want to contribute. And some faithful, they do it very well, and we really appreciate. They come, they give us some money. Father, it can pay for someone who would like to do the retreat. For me, I cannot come, but I would like to pay for someone who could come, and I will pay for this person. And that is good. It's a very good way to do a spiritual good for the souls. Or even to pay for children. In our school, we give many scholarships to children. We give some scholarships. We are trying to help. But it is also the responsibility of the faithful to say, I would like to help for a child. And I know some faithful, they do it. They have decided to sponsor a child, and they pay for the study of this child. And this is an act of charity, and this is a way to support a child, and also to support the school and the church. At a stage in the church, when the Vatican lost all its territories because the Freemasonry attacked the Catholic Church in Italy in the 19th century, took all the possession of the Catholic Church, and the Holy See was very poor. And now could not run itself even. And at this moment, started some saint actually, Saint Pauline Jaricot, started to collect very small money from everybody, and all that was sent to Rome for the support of the Vatican. It's called the Peter's Pence, where people were just giving some small contribution, but all the Catholics were contributing, and this money was sent to support the Holy See, the Vatican. Or some of these funds were made for supporting the mission work, propagation of the faith, the spread of the faith in mission lands. By supporting a student in the seminary. And that is something that is very important, very beautiful. A very good way to help the church is to pay for the school fees of the seminarians. And when you see our seminarians coming for holiday, like this summer, the three have come for holidays, because they will not be able to come back here before 3 years now. You guys have come this year, because now, before 3 years, they will not be able to come. But who has paid for the flight ticket? It is the church. We have paid for them, because someone has to pay for the flight ticket. But It will be very good if the faithful will say, oh, you are happy to see our seminarian. Father, would like to contribute for the flight ticket. That is something that can be done, and it's very good to contribute, because that is a burden for the church. But even the studies of the seminary, the seminary is a big house in Switzerland or in France, and this house consumes a lot of money, because in this country it's very expensive to survive in these countries. And I know the seminaries, they don't cover their own expenses. This is why, of course, the seminarians, they have to pay for school fees. And sometimes we find some benefactors, and actually, two of our Kenyans have found some benefactors who are paying their school fees in the seminary. But it could be also, and it should be actually, the faithful of the parish to be happy to say, Father, I would like to pay for the school fees of the seminarians, to help for the vocations, to contribute to the formation of a priest. Let me participate. Let me give something for the formation of the priest. And actually just to give a donation to the seminary. You know, it is so important to have priests. Without a priest, there is no mass, there is no sacrament, no baptism, no one to take you the last sacrament on your deathbed. And now you say, oh, let me give every month something to a seminary to help them for the formation of clergy. Yeah, it can be, as I was saying, also some scholarship for orphans, for disadvantaged children. What merit before God it must be to support a student for the priesthood, or a priest in the missions. If we cannot ourselves go to serve him there, maybe you cannot become a priest, or you wish you could have helped the church and given your life, but now you have not done it, or you cannot do it. Still, you can support the activity of the church and help a seminarian support the formation of a priest. If a father has no son for the seminary, he keeps a substitute there. You can say, okay, I have not managed to get a son to become a priest. Let me pay for the school fees of a seminarian. And we remember that such person, as we benefit only, naturally feel toward us a special affection. Because some seminarians who have been paid, actually, they keep a special relationship with their benefactor. They pray for him every day in the seminary and as a priest, because they know that they owe him. They owe him this support. And you know, my dear faithful, sometimes we have problems in our life. We have problems with our families. We have problems in our business. Or we have problems with our own sins. We are not very good. We fall into sins. We can be even afraid for our salvation. It's possible. And I tell you, it's a consolation to say, okay, I am not very good. I have problems, but I hope God will remember me because I have tried. I have paid the fees of the seminarian. I have given that for the church. I have done that for the poor. I hope all the good things I have done will pray for me, and that God will bless me because of this good work I have done for him. And sometimes, when we are in trouble, we feel, no, you have a special prayer intention, you have a problem this day, go look for a poor, give him some money. It's very good to do that. This act of charity will pray for you. You know? And God is always blessing this kind of things. Or if you have a problem, it's an act of charity, you can give a donation. And that is something you have done for God. And it's a kind of prayer, you know. What blessings may we not expect from the masses and prayers of one whom we have helped on the way to the priesthood? Yes. Yes. Now the question is, how much should we contribute for the support of the church? We should contribute as much as we can, according to our means. Of course, persons who are in moderate circumstances and with large families cannot be expected to contribute as much as those who are rich. The very poor are not expected even to give anything. Actually, this is why in this parish we don't have any official charge for baptism or for sacraments. It's just free, because many people cannot afford. And now we don't ask, there is nothing we ask. But because religion is free, you know, salvation is free, sacraments are free. There is no one should be prevented to access the church or access a sacrament because of money. That is important. Of course, the sacraments are administered without any fee, of course. But people who can give, I think it's good they give something, of course. Persons who are rich should remember that God gave them their wealth. They should return some of it to Him in thanksgiving for His generosity, remembering that He gives wealth only as a trust. The rich have to account to God for what they do with the wealth that God has granted them. It is far from edifying to see so many wealthy persons throwing away money on food, clothes, cars, jewels, houses, travels, etc., and then giving nothing at all to the pastor of their souls. Now the Catechism is giving an example. Ordinarily, if we give each month 1 day's wages or revenue, the needs of the church will, as a rule, be taken care of. This is surely not too heavy a burden. So here the Catechism is saying maybe the wages of 1 day per month. I know some in Kenya, some people they even give the tenth. Many people go on year after year without giving a cent to the church, even when they can well do so. These people should remember that the church and our ministers cannot subsist on air. Wealthy Catholics should remember the church in their wills. Many of these Catholics leave funds to some lay institution or other for the erection of this or that building, and completely forget to leave anything to their mother church. Actually, in Europe, it's maybe one of the main sources of donation we have are people who leave money after their death. Or they leave a house they give to the church, or a land they give to the church. And this is one of the main sources of donation we have. People who prepare their death, and they say, after my death, I want this land, this house, or this amount of money to be given to the church. Well, this was this lesson about the fifth commandment of the church, to contribute to the support of the church. Here at Holy Cross, we don't like too much to speak about that, because too many churches are too much after money, and that is bad. Religion is not a business. Religion is not a way to make money. And actually, you have so many Protestant churches are just business, where some pastors have found a way to get rich through church activities. And that is very bad. Jesus has come in this world poor. He has died poor. He has lived a poor life in this world. And he was not after money. And now to use the name of Jesus to ask for money is bad. Okay? And so many people, they do that. And it's very bad. This is why we don't like to speak too much and to ask too much. But still, the needs are there. Still, we have a church to build. Still, we are building a school. Still, life is expensive, and And this is why, even if we don't speak much about it, it is still the duty of the faithful to give their tithes, to support the church, and to make sure that the work of God can continue. And even for us specifically here in Nairobi, I think it will be very fair that we could tell our superiors, stop sending money from abroad. Our faithful are enough to contribute. That will be fair to reach this level. So let us also maybe do an effort towards that.